honestly, it's not fun, but your niche YouTube videos will convert 10 times more better without having you to constantly change your strategy, which right now you're hopping from one strategy to another strategy just to find and try to get results, or without you having to post aimlessly without any structure or intention. Because the truth is, nobody likes spending hours researching their audience. Nobody likes posting consistent niche YouTube content, and nobody likes obsessing over positioning. It's not really glamorous, it's not pretty. However, that's truly the difference between coaches who struggle to get clients versus coaches who sign $6,000 coaching clients like clockwork. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to improve on a bit, and by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to improve on, so next time you post a niche YouTube video, it actually converts. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. We're going to cover 4 points, starting with the first one being that you need to start treating YouTube as a sales funnel. Because you right now only treat YouTube as a top of funnel or middle of funnel or even bottom of funnel play. That's why you have a delayed ROI. You're constantly posting content if you are, but you're not getting the ROI you deserve. You have an extremely high drop-off rate, meaning even if people click, they don't stay till the end. They don't even stay till the middle. That's why they can't absorb the value that you're talking about. Hence, they don't book in a call, and there's no synergy between your content ecosystem. Everything just seems so not synergized. It just seems so vague. It just seems not structured. However, the people whose personal brands convert the best, they treat YouTube as its own sales funnel, with every video having and accomplishing a certain goal in mind, whether that's a certain video only trying to reach your ideal client, or one video specifically made to deepen and strengthen the relationship between your audience, and one video is just made to generate calls. Whatever the case might be, every single video has a certain goal, and if you have your own YouTube sales funnel, it will accomplish that goal. And the perfect example for this would be Mark Builds Brand. Now, Mark Builds Brands has an extremely simple funnel. He just creates niche YouTube videos, consistently creates niche YouTube videos, and then whoever is interested in working with him, he sends them to a qualification form, and if they are qualified, they book in a call, and the deal most likely closes, just because people are so nurtured by him that when they hop on a call, they already know they're gonna buy. You need to understand that Mark doesn't create generic niche YouTube content. If he would be, then his content wouldn't convert. What he does do is that he creates specific content with outcome-driven titles aimed at only one person with one problem who already understands that they need help. Now, this is the game changer part. And he actually focuses on the 20% of the platform that will get him 80% of the result. Because the truth is, you should be using Instagram and YouTube both. But however, you can't just convert your audience by posting Instagram Reels. It's not really viable. However, you can just convert your audience by posting micro niche YouTube content. And honestly, if you have a choice between both, then you have to post YouTube content over Insta. But however, you should utilize both to your advantage. Now, what does Mark actually get from this? What is the result from posting niche YouTube content, not generic, but niche? The result is that his viewers don't just watch his content, they binge it. And this results in more people getting nurtured to his offer, more people trusting him, and later on more people converting. Because when he does this, he doesn't bleed through warm leads. The warm leads who actually watch his content, they like what he does, and they actually stay for the ride. His call rate not only increases, but also the quality boosts. So he's not only getting consistent calls, but the calls he's getting from his inbound content is extremely qualified, and that every single video he creates has an advantage. If it will compound, even if it doesn't convert right now for him, it will convert 2 months, 3 months down the line. And that's what converting 10x better actually looks like. It's not about 10x more views or 10x more likes or subscribers. It's 10x of more of the right person watching, trusting, and booking in a call. By the way, if you are a make money online coach and you want me to implement the social acquisition funnel in your business so you can sign consistent inbound deals, then book a call down below 101. We're going to have a chat to see if we should potentially work together. So if you do that, then great. Now let's move on to the second point, which is repetition is the main strategy. Now this is actually the boring part, because the truth is that even if you have the right strategy, if you don't have repetition, if you're not constantly executing on that strategy, then it'll be extremely difficult for you to see results from the content you create. And this is something most people can't stick with because it just gets too hard. Maybe they don't give it that much importance, or they just because they don't see results in week one, they quit. But this is the boring part nobody talks about. And if you do execute on this, if you do understand this point, then you will make a lot of money from the content you create. And repetition actually looks like having a consistent posting schedule, doing A/B testing on thumbnails, optimizing titles again and again until you find the one that works and double down on it, reviewing the video data to see what you need to improve on, where you went wrong, and actually implementing the improvements. Now, you even hearing this, you might be like, oh, that's so boring. Like, I don't want to take out the time and actually do this. But if you don't want to take out the time to actually do this or have someone do this for you, then you're simply just leaving a lot of money on the table. And I just want you to imagine this analogy. Imagine your ideal client who's goes on YouTube and they're looking for a coach to invest into. Who would they actually book in a call with? Person one whose lack of inconsistency makes them look like they're untrustworthy, which is true. And then their videos have no structure, no intention. They just ramble on, go off topic, and they don't even come to the topic. It just has no structure. And in 6 months, they only post 12 videos. And it's not even that high of quality or that valuable. Or would they go with this person who's constantly posting and also iterating her or their content accordingly? Every single video they post has a job. Either it's top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. And in 6 months, they post 48 videos, meaning they post 8 videos per month. Well, if the ideal client is smart enough, obviously they're going to go with person number 2. Because the thing is, consistency is actually a credibility signal. The only thing that can't be faked is constantly showing up. If you're immoral, you're gonna fake testimonials, fake results, whatever. But that's not enough. If you're not constantly showing up and doing all of this, you still won't be able to convert at your highest rate. Because the thing is, your viewers can actually witness your brand's evolution. People actually start to recognize how your earlier content looked like compared to now. So they do a comparison of how this person has grown so much, how their content has grown so much. And then they see your style, they see how your style and messaging gradually developed, how you used to speak then versus how you speak now. If you go back and look at my first video compared to this video right now, you're going to see a massive difference. And that is actually a huge advantage I have, because like it's going to show you that this person's been creating content for a long time and look how their brand is evolving. Then it also shows them how you grew throughout the years, what you used to do when you like used to create videos before and now how you do it. It might be how your background looks like, the clothes you wear, how you speak, everything related to content or not even related to content, and how your presentation style improved. How you used to present your information before versus how you present your information now. They're going to see the huge difference. And this is actually very, very big for personal branding, because over time, people actually become interested in you and your thought process, your values and beliefs, your decision-making process, your unique frameworks, because they watch the journey unfold throughout the years. And this is such a game changer, because once you unlock this, it's such a big advantage, because you essentially unlock like your red ocean market. All of a sudden, people only want to buy from you. They only want to listen to you. Not because your value is any better, it might not be, but because they're so invested in you as a person, they're going to listen to whatever you say. And that's the power of influence, which most people can't get a taste of. But if you do, then it's going to bring you money, connections, opportunities back tenfold. And the sequence will actually look like this. It's not going to be like all of a sudden you get piffed. No, you're going to build consistency. You're going to keep on showing up. You're going to be constantly providing value. And then all of a sudden, this will compound into trust. You're going to essentially have so much trust with your audience that now if you ask them something, if you, if you ask them anything, they're going to be willing to give it to you because they trust you enough, and they trust you as a person, and they trust the value that you're providing. And then later on, this will compound into, and the people who actually want to buy from you, they actually want to learn, they're going to piff. What this does is that your content library will actually become a public record of your competence, growth, and consistency. And that creates a level of credibility that testimonials alone can never create. Like I said, having testimonials, results, and everything is amazing, but you also need to have this level of credibility, which is like showing up consistently, having a content library that shows your competence. That's something that does selling for you, even if you don't directly sell. Now comes you having a content workflow to actually make this possible. This is something I use for myself and give to all of the people who work with us, because it's so essential that once you have the content workflow in place, content becomes so easy to create. It comes to you effortlessly because you know the exact system. You have the exact system. How you're gonna develop ideas, asset creation, filming, post-production process. And when it's done, like SOPs in place for your bio or like designers and like asset designers, so they can create assets that are not only aesthetic but also converting. And it's so essential because if you have this dialed in, essentially it's gonna be like you're gonna be creating content. It's not even gonna feel like any work for you. So definitely have that dialed in. And that brings us to our third point, which is packaging sells first. Now this is so important because truth is most coaches don't even care about packaging. They spend hours recording the most valuable, detailed video they've ever made, and when they post, it gets barely any attraction. And then they wonder why, because they think to themselves, the information was great in the video, the delivery was solid, but the reason why it's not getting any attraction, which is why it can't build trust and convert, is because the packaging was weak. Nobody clicked on it because they didn't have any, essentially, a reason to click on it. You didn't answer the question of like, what's in it for me? Now, you need to understand that before you record content, before you create video assets, this is something you have to do later. That's not the first step you have to take. The first step is you need to nail the title and thumbnail, because that's truly what matters. Your CTR rate needs to be solid, because only if your CTR rate is solid and it's approximately above 3%, then only will people actually watch your value. That's what really sells the click. And the click acts as the first conversion point, because if a person clicks on your video, they're indirectly saying yes, and then you're much closer, then it's like much closer for them to say another yes, and then another yes, until they actually purchase your offer. Because a video nobody watches helps nobody, and no matter how good the content inside is, which means you'll never be able to get to the point where people convert from the niche content you create. Now, you need to think of it this way. If you can't grab your ICP's attention, if you can't even get their attention, you'll never be able to retain it. So instead of focusing on step number 2, which is retaining your audience's attention, you need to dial in step number 1, which is actually being able to grab the attention. But that's why you need to constantly be doing A/B testing. You need to see what works in the market. You need to deep dive of like what are outliers in titles and thumbnails that are currently working. All of these things pay off. And truth is, it's not even about the titles and thumbnails. Like I tell you, titles and thumbnails are only like a part of packaging. It's just the start, essentially. The hook matters. How you like, will your hook retain your audience long enough so they can go to the value? How you frame the idea so the audience can actually be not only curious, but they actually want to stay till the end to like get your value. How you build a curiosity gap, and how you arouse emotions. Because the truth is, if emotions aren't aroused, then people will not, even if they watch your video, they're not going to feel anything. And if they aren't going to feel any urgency, any scarcity, anything, then they're not even going to book in a call. Because the thing is, people don't actually click because the information was valuable. They can get the information anywhere. That's why I said you need to have repetition, so you build your content library. But essentially, they don't click because the information was valuable. They click because they're curious. And if they're curious, they're gonna go all the way around. Like, they would actually want to watch the video. And how do you actually create curiosity? Well, start off by creating open loops. Because if you create an open loop, then audience has no choice but to stay till the end and stay till the loop is closed, because they want to know the answer. You need to like answer questions. You need to intrigue the audience, and you need to build a contrast, because once you do all of these things, essentially what will happen is that this will make the audience and the viewer think, I need to know the answer. And until this pain point is actually alleviated, they're not gonna leave. They're gonna stick around, and they're gonna be there like until they understand your value. Now comes our last and final point, which is you need to start removing uncertainty. Because thing is, you think the reason why people aren't booking calls is because you haven't explained enough. So you keep on explaining, you keep on basically pumping out more content, adding more insights, giving more value, yet the viewer still doesn't book in a call. And now you wonder, because the thing is, now you wonder because you think you're doing everything right, but essentially you're not, because it's not because they need more information. They truly don't. Most of the audience actually knows your information. They just want to hear from your mouth. But it's because they aren't sure your solution is for them specifically. Because the thing is, if they religiously watch your content and they religiously watch your videos, chances are they already know who you are. That's why they're watching the videos. They already like you as a person. That's why they're like, again and again, every single week when you post, they're the first ones to watch your video till the end, and they trust you to some extent. The only thing that's actually stopping them is the question in the back of their mind, will this work for me? That's why you need to stop adding more content and start removing doubt, because certainty removes the one thing that is standing between your viewers and your calendar, which is hesitation. Because when your viewers have certainty, then they can easily book in a call, because they know this specific solution is made for them. So you need to stop adding more content, like actually evaluate your content style. Now, how can you actually create certainty so that your viewers don't have any hesitation? Well, number one, you need to use testimonials strategically. You need to share stories and interviews in the same shoes of people who are in the same shoes as your prospect, and you need to tell them how those people who worked with you achieved their goals. Because when I say we helped one of the people we worked with, Jacqueline, book 7 calls in one day, you guys watching think that's literally my situation. And this case study automatically answers the fact that, will this work for me, someone like me? Because I just showed you someone who it did work for, and it basically works without me having to post another step-by-step breakdown and putting in more effort and time. I just solved this problem in an instant because I used the testimonial strategically. The mistake that most coaches actually make is that they spam case studies and results without any structure, which is why the viewers feel no emotion when the proof is shown, because you become numb, but not numb in a good way. You just become so numb that every single time you see a case study, you see a video, no emotion is aroused. So instead, if you structure case studies, testimonials, results in a strategic manner, when the viewer actually sees it, they're going to feel emotions like FOMO, scarcity, in their mind that, will this work for me, will be solved in an instant. Now, the second thing you can do is that you should start funneling the prospect into the DMs. Now, this is the easiest way to remove friction and increase your show-up rate, because every single small question and limiting belief you remove, the more closer your prospect will be on to hopping on a call with you and investing in your offer. Because there's just few things a DM does better than a YouTube video, is that if you funnel them, your prospects to the DM, small questions are answered, limiting beliefs are answered, and essentially a DM is one-to-one. It's personalized and it's specific, so you tailor the answers according to your audience's questions and just be extremely personalized. And when their questions are answered, they're going to feel more inclined towards hopping on a call with you. Anyway, that's it for today's video. We covered everything that you need to start implementing so that your niche YouTube videos can convert better. If you're interested in working with my agency, then book in a one-on-one call with me and subscribe, because I'm going to be coming out with loads more content and different formats